In the second year after leaving with nothing in the divorce, I was at the Civil Affairs Bureau. There, I happened to run into my ex-wife. Walking with her, besides her white moonlight, first love, was our daughter. When my daughter saw me, she ran over excitedly and hugged my leg. "Daddy, you missed you so much." Seeing this, I calmly pulled my leg out of her embrace. "My good daughter, didn't you once make a wish for me to die from a fever? Why are you still thinking about your dead father now?" After speaking, I turned my head to look at Liu Ruyan. "Here to get your marriage certificate? I wish you a century of harmony and many children." Liu Ruyan gave an unnatural smile. "I'm here for a divorce." Then she asked anxiously, "Are you getting married?" I flicked the documents in my hand. "I'm here to get a single status certificate so I can collect my relocation compensation." I never expected that when I saw Liu Ruyan again, it would still be at a place like the Civil Affairs Bureau. Holding my freshly issued single status certificate at the entrance, I happened to bump into Liu Ruyan, who was walking with her head down. She froze for a moment and stared straight at me. "Have you been well these past 2 years?" I have no hobby of chatting about life with my ex-wife. After all, the green on my head, cuckoldry, hasn't fully faded yet. I walked away while brushing her off. "I'm doing okay." She chased after me for 2 steps and grabbed me. "Are you getting married?" This person was being bizarre. Why was she so worried about whether I was getting married or not? Seeing my impatient expression, Liu Ruyan let go of my sleeve and made small talk. "We haven't seen each other in 2 years. Indeed. The last time we met was 2 years ago, also here. That day we ended our 3-year marriage. I traded my daughter's custody and leaving with nothing for that divorce certificate. Back then, at the entrance of the bureau, she asked me when I'd go back to pack my things. I looked at the sky, then at her. Now, I only took the keys to the old family house and the only photo I had of my father. Just as I was about to leave, Liu Ruyan held our daughter's hand and watched me. "Put the keys down." My hand on the car door didn't stop. I replied curtly, "They're on the table." Behind me came her exasperated voice. "You're the one who insisted on the divorce. Ruanqing has no relatives or friends, and he's suffering from depression. What's wrong with me spending more time with him? Why are you being so petty? Even you knows to accompany him and give him warmth." I turned back to see my daughter nodding vigorously and her looking at me with eyes full of disappointment. Under the accusing glares of both the adult and the child, I wheeled my wheelchair away as fast as I could. Ruanqing had no family, but I only had her and my daughter too. I looked at the photo of my father. Well, now I didn't have to be petty with Ruanqing anymore. Neither the wife nor the daughter was mine. Ruanqing was Liu Ruyan's childhood sweetheart. They grew up together. Ruanqing's father was the driver for Liu Ruyan's family. When Liu Ruyan was 7, she playfully started a car. The driver sacrificed his life to save her. Since then, to repay the life-saving debt, Ruanqing became another child in the Liu family, eating and traveling with her. During puberty, emotions erupted and the handsome boy and beautiful girl became a recognized couple. After their forbidden fruit incident was discovered, Ruanqing was sent to India to study. They began years of a long-distance relationship through the internet. This lasted until the COVID-19 outbreak. When the real economy was hit, the Liu family fell into debt. During that phase, I saved Liu Ruyan from being preyed upon on the side of the road. I accompanied her through the company's winter and welcomed the economic recovery, as well as our daughter. On our daughter's 2nd birthday, Ruanqing suddenly appeared. He gazed affectionately at Liu Ruyan, saying he missed her, describing his pain from COVID and the difficulty of returning home. This day was also our 3rd wedding anniversary. Liu Ruyan cried until she shook in Ruanqing's arms. Everything that followed was sordid yet familiar. Everything that was mine became his. Liu Ruyan took Ruanqing for a full physical checkup. The sequelae weren't cured, but severe depression was diagnosed. Scars on Ruanqing's wrists were accidentally discovered by Liu Ruyan. The doctor said patients with this kind of self-harming behavior cannot be left alone. They need love and warmth, I asked, refusing to give up. "So? He has no other family. I want to bring him home so it's easier to care for him." "I have no other family either." Upon hearing this, Liu Ruyan's face instantly changed. How can you be so selfish? He is a patient. He needs company. You aren't sick. She might as well have said that if I didn't agree to Ruanqing moving in, I was irredeemably evil and letting everyone down. Seeing this, I didn't persist. For the next few months, I was busy with business at the company, while Liu Ruyan cared for Ruanqing and our daughter at home. I felt like an outsider. One day at work, my calf was crushed by a tire falling from a height. My only thought in the ambulance was, good, now I need to be taken care of too. My injury was sudden, but not fatal. Liu Ruyan didn't spare much time for me. By the time I was discharged, she had only visited twice symbolically, staying no more than half an hour each time. My injury wasn't heavy, just a fractured calf, but it takes 100 days for bones and tendons to heal. From then on, I began recovering under the same roof as Ruanqing. The difference was he lived upstairs next to the master bedroom, and I lived in the downstairs guest room. Liu Ruyan said, "Your leg is hurt, so climbing up and down is inconvenient. You won't mind, right? He's close, so I can look after him easily, and you're saved from the stairs." I didn't mind. Out of humanitarianism, saving a life is a great deed. As long as she didn't care for him all the way into his bed, I didn't care. Ruanqing would come downstairs every day to see me, specifically choosing times when Liu Ruyan was present. One day, talking about his illness, Ruanqing said he had gained weight from too many hormone drugs. He started becoming depressed. Liu Ruyan's limited attention was immediately snatched away. She briskly took Ruanqing and Yu out for exercise, looking exactly like a happy family of three. At dinner, I stared at a table full of takeout Liu Ruyan had brought. I couldn't eat any of it. It was all stuff Ruanqing loved, and all stuff I couldn't eat. Liu Ruyan ate with a glowing face. "Why aren't you eating? This Sichuan food Ruanqing picked is really delicious. The doctor said I can't eat spicy or irritating food." Liu Ruyan froze for a second. "I just wanted Ruanqing to eat more so he'd get better faster. You only have a fracture. Eating a little shouldn't matter, right?" I squeezed my chopsticks and looked at Ruanqing's provocative face. "Yeah, it's fine." Out of a man's pride, I ate that spicy meal. Although I drank water desperately afterward, the wound still became inflamed and triggered a high fever. This time, Liu Ruyan came to the hospital. Before my fever even broke, Ruanqing followed behind. He had relapsed and slit his wrists. When Liu Ruyan rushed to Ruanqing's VIP ward, she forgot to take Yu. In my days, I heard the little girl's milky voice making a wish. At first, I felt somewhat comforted. No matter how the wife was, the daughter was my own. However, my little silk-padded jacket, precious daughter, made this wish. I hope my daddy dies from the fever, so Uncle Ruanqing can be my daddy. When someone jokingly asked why she wanted to change daddies, she answered seriously that Uncle Ruanqing was clean, handsome, and smelled good. The daughter I had pampered in the palm of my hand since birth thought I was smelly and wanted someone else as her father. While Liu Ruyan was in the VIP ward with her daughter accompanying Ruanqing, I was in a general ward with a hired caregiver. From the doctors and nurses to the other families, everyone thought they were the family of three. Ruanqing sent me a photo with a provocative message. "You're just a smelly car mechanic. How can you compete with me?" In the photo, Liu Ruyan was in her pajamas, sleeping soundly in Ruanqing's arms. On the other side was Yu, sleeping peacefully. I looked at that photo all night, confirming repeatedly. That was the bed I had searched the whole city for when we got married. Dawn broke, and it was time for me to wake up. Before I could propose a divorce, Liu Ruyan found me first. Ruanqing's mother had somehow found out and gone to the ward to ask him for child support. Ruanqing was triggered, and his condition worsened. Liu Ruyan came to me aggressively to settle the score. I picked up the evidence she threw in my face in front of the whole ward, printed WeChat transfer records I had sent to Ruanqing's mother. "You knew Ruanqing needed peace. Why did you bring that woman here? Now he wants to kill himself. Are you satisfied?" Liu Ruyan was emotional, slapping my fractured leg as she spoke. "I was just taking care of him. I wasn't going to divorce you. Why can't you just understand me?" I knew talking was useless. She wouldn't believe me. I took out the printed divorce agreement. Let's divorce. You can take care of him forever now. The Civil Affairs Bureau never lacks business. People usually come in pairs. Liu Ruyan and I stood 2 meters apart, facing each other. She said, I looked for you later, but I had no news of you. When we divorced, I only took my father's photo and the old house keys. When she looked for me, I must have been at the old house, nursing my leg. That was only a 30-minute drive away, but it was a place she never wanted to step foot in. Even if she had looked closely at that photo, she would have recognized it. Liu Ruyan looked at me as if she wanted to say something, finally murmuring, Yu is looking for her daddy. She says she misses you. I answered coldly, Doesn't she have a daddy? Or rather, isn't Uncle Ruan Qing the daddy she hoped for? Initially, hearing my daughter wish for my death felt like my heart was being sliced. 2 years later, I had let it go. I didn't want to dwell on the past with my ex-wife, especially since I was rushing to the relocation office. I looked down at my watch. I'm in a hurry, I'll leave first. Before I could walk away, a pink little cannonball rushed over and hugged my leg tightly. Daddy, you're here! You missed you so much! It was Mai and Liu Ruyan's daughter. I looked down. Her face had my features. I pinched her cheek and slowly moved my leg away. Ruan Qing followed behind. He looked much more haggard than 2 years ago, but his mouth was still foul. Really persistent, aren't you? Following the scent right here. From his tone, he thought I was here to cause trouble. If I had known they were registering their marriage today, I would have waited 2 days to get my compensation rather than come today for my certificate. Congratulations on finally reaching a result. The 3 of them stared at me. Liu Ruyan's eyes were complex, Yu was confused, and Ruan Qing was the most direct. Hatred was written all over his face. I was completely baffled. Liu Ruyan pursed her lips, held Yu's hand, looked down, and then silently looked up to meet my eyes. Do you really not know, or are you doing this on purpose? Yu was young after all. Daddy, it's not like that. Liu Ruyan interrupted her. I'm here for a divorce today. Hearing this, my brain couldn't keep up. I thought they had finally gotten together. Why did it take so long to register? It turns out they had been married for a long time and were now separating. What happened in these 2 years? You saw me stunned and came over to pull my sleeve coquettishly. Daddy, come home with me and Mommy! I snapped out of it and patted the top of Yu's head without replying. After all, she was a daughter I had truly loved. I didn't have the heart to crush her. Perhaps my silence gave Liu Ruyan hope. Julian, we. I interrupted her. There is no we anymore. Now it was Liu Ruyan's turn to be stunned. Didn't you say you were single? I was laughed in anger. Just because I'm single doesn't mean I have to be with you, she said with unwillingness. I'm getting divorced immediately. You are Yu's father. We should be together. I admired her bandit logic. I didn't want to engage. You pulled me again. Daddy, I won't let you go! I gently pulled my hem away. Daddy has things to do. I'll see you later. She was stubborn. My mommy is getting divorced in a moment. Can you be together again? We are a family. Such a serious expression on a 5-year-old's face was quite eerie. I looked up at Liu Ruyan and saw she had no intention of stopping the child. I sneered. Didn't you wish for Daddy to die of a fever? When your mommy and I divorced, you weren't just supportive. You were happy. Yu was stumped by my question. After a long time, she squeezed out, Daddy is Daddy. It's different. Once, I thought I was different too. But my biological daughter wanted me dead. Seeing that I wasn't buying it, Yu started crying and acting like a brat, demanding I remarry her mother and trying to drag me home. The screams and cries of a 5-year-old girl instantly attracted many stares. Things were getting out of hand. Security had to come out to maintain order. Liu Ruyan finally spoke. Yu is emotional because she hasn't seen you in 2 years. I looked Liu Ruyan in the eye calmly, ignoring the mother and daughter schemes. Julian, I'll let you off for looking for me this once. I won't hold it against you. For a split second, I suspected I was deaf rather than suspecting Liu Ruyan was an idiot. I just wanted to leave quickly and escape this lunatic. Ruan Qing, who had been acting as background noise, walked over and lit a cigarette. He said, "If you're single, you're fine. You've probably been used up and thrown away anyway." Ruanqing, just because your own heart is filthy doesn't mean everyone else's is. Do you think everyone is like you? Eating lies for breakfast? Is acting cool fun? Ruanqing's face, which was just haggard, instantly became whiter than the wall. Ruanqing wasn't sick. That was something I found out by chance. After the divorce, while I was recovering in the old house, I didn't intentionally spy on them. Thanks to Liu Ruyan, my leg fracture required a second surgery to correct. Being bored, I wheeled around and happened to hear the young nurses chatting. It turned out Ruanqing had called his mother himself. It turned out he slit his wrists on purpose because he was angry at Liu Ruyan's care. It turned out even the depression was faked by bribing a doctor. I suddenly understood why every time Ruanqing was emotionally unstable, the timing was perfect. Why his mother arrived so opportunely. But how did the official husband know the mother of the male mistress? Was this a trap set by the mistress to take the position? The official husband was so pitiful. Even bystanders could see through the loopholes at a glance, yet Liu Ruyan had pinned it all on me, and there was more. The mistress only had a skin scratch, yet he bandaged it so thick he wasn't afraid of a heat rash. Truly a scheming dog. That woman, Liu Ruyan, was also blind and heartless. She was supposed to be a big boss. See? Outsiders could see through Ruanqing's clumsy tricks, but he bet correctly on Liu Ruyan's favoritism. Those full of holes lies were merely the catalyst for my departure. I didn't expose it then, and I didn't want to say it today, but I underestimated Ruanqing's shamelessness. In that case, let them consume each other. Liu Ruyan's face was full of disbelief. She stared straight at Ruanqing. "You aren't sick? The suicide and wrist-slitting were all fake?" Ruanqing's previously arrogant face instantly became full of grievance. "I'm not. You saw my wound. There's still a scar." At this moment, it was their turn for the divorce registration. Ruanqing desperately tried to pull Liu Ruyan over. "Wait until I clarify the previous matters before we talk about divorce." Liu Ruyan still had some brains when she wasn't blinded by feelings. No matter how well Ruanqing acted, she was suspicious now. "Because I never lie. Yanyan, I don't want a divorce. It's okay if you don't give me any property." So he was waiting for this all along. If they divorce, he divides the assets. If they don't, he spends them. Either way, he profits. "Liu Ruyan, you better investigate him. See if he is really as innocent as you imagine." Without regret, I threw out those words and drove away immediately. Getting my money was the real priority. I was in a hurry. However, I drove in such a rush that I only realized Yu was huddled in the back seat when I stopped at a red light. She was probably afraid I'd abandon her. Anxiously, she said, "Daddy, I want to go with you. I'll be very good and won't be a bother." It was indeed difficult to turn back now, so I had to take her to the relocation office. There, we met another family also handling relocation. The father was carrying the child on his shoulders, and the mother was looking at them dotingly, saying, "Be careful." You watched them with a face full of envy, her small hand clutching mine tighter and tighter. I knelt down. "Do you want to play like that too?" She nodded, then shook her head. "Just a hug is fine. I don't need the shoulders." Her voice grew smaller, her eyes filled with a trace of worry. I remembered that in the past, after I got home from work, Yu was almost glued to me. You could say she grew up in my arms and on my back. Now she was actually envious of someone else's shoulder ride, and even asking for a hug was done with such caution. I slowly picked up my daughter. The 5-year-old girl was light as a feather, easy to carry. "Doesn't your Uncle Ruan carry you?" You hugged my neck tightly. "Daddy said I'm too heavy. I'm a big girl now and have to walk by myself." I never used to think she was heavy. I used to rush home from work to kiss her, hug her, and lift her high. But back then, Yu thought I was smelly. I carried Yu back to the car and sat opposite her in the back seat. I said seriously and solemnly, Yu, it's over between your mother and me. It's impossible for us to live together again." Yu lowered her head and pursed her lips, saying nothing as tears fell pitter-patter. In the past, if my daughter wanted my heart, I would have cut it out for her instantly. How could I let her cry like this? Now, I only sighed and waited for her to calm down. Didn't you like Ruanqing very much? Weren't you happy to have a new daddy? She sobbed and said, I was happy at first, but Mommy said you didn't like him and were still angry at her, so you didn't even want me anymore after the divorce. Yu's speech was fragmented, but I understood. She was willing at first, but then she wasn't happy, so she changed her mind. Yu, it's not that Daddy doesn't care about you. Didn't you wish for Daddy to die so Ruanqing could be your father? Yu's eyes filled with fluid, large drops rolling down. Daddy was the one who brought up the divorce first, but you and Mommy chose Ruanqing first. Yu, Daddy didn't abandon you. You will always be my daughter, but that's all. Yu threw herself into my arms, her tears soaking my clothes. I helplessly stroked her back, patting her one stroke at a time. Is Ruanqing not good to you? The little girl cried even louder. He was good before. After he married Mommy, he didn't care much about me. He said I had to learn to grow up and couldn't always be a spoiled brat. Well, of course, once the big one, the mother, was caught, why would he bother flattering the little one? Seeing that I didn't speak, Yu looked at me cautiously, her eyes full of pleading. Daddy, I know I was wrong. Only you are my good daddy. Please don't be angry with me, okay? She wiped her tears haphazardly with her small hands. I know Mommy misses you too. Daddy, come home. We are the real family. Toward my 5-year-old daughter, my disappointment outweighed my anger. When she made that wish to change fathers, I had already moved on. A daughter is still a daughter, but everything is different now. Yu, Daddy has his own home. Your family is your Mommy and Ruanqing. I sent Yu home. She refused to get out of the car. I handed her to the nanny and turned to leave. Liu Ruyan chased after me. She said she had to deal with Ruanqing's matters and didn't have the energy to care for her daughter. She wanted her to stay with me for a few days. I replied that it was inconvenient. Yang Lin, I know you have a grudge against me, but Yu is also your daughter. I don't feel safe leaving her with others. It really is inconvenient. I live at the auto repair shop now. It wouldn't be good if the child got hurt. Liu Ruyan had no choice but to let me leave. She stood at the door, pulling her crying and struggling daughter. Perhaps I didn't rush to beg for reconciliation as she expected. Or perhaps the daughter's crying stimulated her. She caught up and grabbed me. Back then, you minded me taking care of Ruanqing and insisted on a divorce, even abandoning Yu. I didn't even hold it against you that you brought his mother here to cause trouble. Her logic was truly bizarre. I pulled my hand away forcefully and walked toward the car. She ran a few steps and blocked me again. Yang Lin, you knew the old house was going to be demolished, didn't you? You calculated all of this, right? I was stunned by her hysterical accusation. She found out about the demolition in just a few hours? But how did she not find out the timing? Liu Ruyan, just because your mind is filthy doesn't mean mine is. She held her head high and persisted. Even if I wronged you about the demolition, how do you explain the bank transfers to Ruanqing's mother? This woman was truly beyond saving. I didn't explain back then, and I won't say it today. You should ask the person who told you that. Move. Under the desolate gaze of the mother and daughter, I got in the car and left. Returning to the repair shop, I felt like I had come back to life. The shop had only been open for 6 months and wasn't fully on track yet. Thanks to Liu Ruyan, after my second surgery, I was hospitalized for a month and then needed 6 months of rehabilitation before I could walk normally. After that, I rested at the old house for another half year before I could squat, run, and jump like usual. Back then, there was no news of demolition. I used my college savings to return to my old profession. I chose mechanical engineering in college, not just because of my father's death, but because I truly liked it. Throughout college, I was first in my major and received the highest scholarship. To apply theory and gain more practice, I opened a repair shop. Over the years, with professional skills and constant technical upgrades, the scale of the shop expanded repeatedly. By graduation, I had $1 million in savings and was somewhat famous in the industry. Saving Liu Ruyan was something I did while back in my hometown to sweep my father's grave during a holiday. At the time, I only thought about saving a person. I didn't expect we would go so far. To help Liu Ruyan through her company's crisis, I closed the repair shop and became a low-level technical guide at the Liu enterprise. Now, I was an auto engineer again, but only for myself this time. No one would despise the smell of oil on me anymore. Given Ruanqing's despicableness, there were some grudges I wanted to settle. I went to the previous hospital and anonymously reported Ruanqing for bribing doctors and faking reports. The doctor involved was quickly investigated, and Ruanqing's true condition, minor neurasthenia, was exposed. Liu Ruyan finally stopped being sentimental and called in the company's legal team to handle the divorce. During this period, the driver would bring Yu to the repair shop every day. Even when I was covered in oil, she would stay by my side without complaint. The few people in the shop knew I had a daughter and was currently divorced. Liu Ruyan would sometimes come and sit there in a daze. Every time before leaving, she would look at me as if she wanted to say something, looking as if I had done her a great injustice. Later, the people in the shop started to gossip. She wants to get back with the boss, right? Bringing the daughter every day with that aggrieved look, she just wants to soften the boss's heart. I think we're about to have a boss's wife. When I heard this, I only said calmly, the boss's wife will never be her. One day, Liu Ruyan came and gave me a file. I handed it back directly without opening it. I didn't want any more involvement with her. Yang Lin, do we have to be like this? You had nothing when we divorced. This contains company shares. It's what you deserve. It was what I deserved. Half of the company's success today was due to me, but I didn't want these shares. Being willing to give original shares showed that Liu Ruyan was really shaken by Ruanqing's harassment. If you must give them, transfer them to Yu's name. After all, I am her father. Liu Ruyan's eyes welled up. Back then, Ruanqing was suicidal. We got married just to take care of him legitimately. Yu also said she liked this daddy. I was in no mood for her explanations and interrupted her. The past is in the past. I only hope you pay more attention to Yu and keep your eyes open when looking for men. Her eyes widened as she made a vow. I won't marry again, unless it's you. Don't say such meaningless things. You don't believe it, and I don't believe it. From the moment Ruanqing lay on our wedding bed, it was over. When I saw Liu Ruyan again, she brought news of Ruanqing's mother. I found news of her. She died in a car accident 3 months ago. We went to the funeral home together to collect the ashes. In the column for the relationship with the deceased, I wrote mother and son. In the parking pool, Liu Ruyan grabbed my wrist as I held the urn. She seemed desperate to confirm something. Yang Lin, Ruanqing's mother, was also your mother, right? Specifically, she was my stepmother. After speaking, I opened the car door. Liu Ruyan followed. I started the car. The atmosphere was terrifyingly silent. You've always known Ruanqing? Since I was 3, a few years earlier than you. I drove the car to the river and buried the ashes on the bank. Liu Ruyan, that day, even though you wore heavy makeup and were dead drunk, I recognized you at a glance as the girl my father gave his life to save. My mother died giving birth to me. When I was 3, my father met Ruanqing's mother. They remarried and brought us to this city. My father became a driver for a wealthy family, responsible for picking up the daughter. Slowly, he'd bring back novel toys and expensive snacks, things I'd never seen or eaten. But he wasn't home during the day. My stepmother was partial to her own son. I could only eat his leftovers and play with his discarded toys. Later, my father never came back. When the Liu family came looking for the driver's son, the stepmother pushed Ruanqing forward. It was a coincidence. Ruanqing had the same surname as my father, while I took my biological mother's surname. The Liu family didn't suspect anything. Ruanqing took my identity. The stepmother took me away with the compensation money given by the Liu family. She became addicted to gambling and often didn't come home for days. I grew up in a daze, relying on neighbors, help. After getting into college, I cut contact completely. Saving you was just because I didn't want the girl my father traded his life for to be ruined. Liu Ruyan looked at me in disbelief, her eyes red. Why didn't you say so at the beginning when Ruanqing appeared? Why didn't you tell me you knew him? Well, I wanted to, but at the time, you were crying in his arms until you were breathless. I didn't have the chance. Later, was there even a point in saying it? I could have used my father's identity to expose him, but what use would it have been? To stay with a wife who cheated on me and a daughter who wanted me dead? To be miserable until I died? So I didn't say it, I just left. Liu Ruyan looked at me with a face full of tears. I thought it was all my fault. I only tolerated Ruanqing for the sake of the driver uncle. I never thought about divorce. I wanted to grow old with you. I felt a bit nauseous. Liu Ruyan, you aren't stupid, but you were never clear-headed regarding Ruanqing. Your willingness to shield and tolerate him was just an excuse for your favoritism. His illness was faked, his background was stolen, and even his mother causing trouble was a play directed by Ruanqing. You didn't even suspect a scam full of such holes. Liu Ruyan, even if you turn back, I won't accept you. I, Yang Lin, will never stand with you again in this lifetime. When I saved Liu Ruyan, I was thinking of my father, so I never regretted it, but I shouldn't have married her. And I certainly shouldn't have had Yu. Bad traits can be hereditary. Fortunately, it wasn't too late. I jumped out of this mud pit. My blunt output completely wounded Liu Ruyan's self-esteem. Her tightly pressed lips trembled. So you weren't jealous of Ruanqing. The divorce was simply because you didn't want me or our daughter anymore, right? Where was the brain of this business iron lady? Every time she veered off track, her focus was actually this. To avoid her continued harassment, I met her pitiful and fragile gaze. Yes. From the moment I received that photo of your family of 3, I decided you 3 can live your lives together, keep the misfortune internal. When I drove away, Liu Ruyan was curled up on the ground, her body shaking. But so what? We probably weren't on the same path to begin with. I looked at the small figure in the rearview mirror and murmured, "It's over. It's ended." I went to see my father and told him I was divorced, and the stepmother was dead, but that I was doing very well now. I picked a bunch of wildflowers and placed them at his grave. They were the most common variety behind our old house when I was a child. "Dad, I've opened the repair shop again." The wildflowers swayed slightly in the wind, and my father's smile seemed even warmer. "Don't worry, Dad, I'll be fine." I leaned against the tombstone, and before I knew it, my face was covered in tears. Ruanqing came to the shop to find me, slamming the table and glaring. "Are you satisfied now? You've been full of bad ideas since you were a kid. I won't lose to you. I just wanted to take the money and leave. I didn't love her, so why did you have to make things hard for me?" He was red-faced and hysterical, acting as if he wanted to go down with me. From his accusations, I gathered that Liu Ruyan didn't give him any money and that he intended to abandon his mother and go abroad. Mentioning money made him angry. Mentioning his mother made his eyes dodge and his face pale. He finally hurried away after some excuses, although I had suspicions about my stepmother's death. I never considered Ruanqing. His reaction today made me guess boldly. Soon I got news that Ruanqing was in prison. After the gambling-addicted stepmother lost my financial support, she turned her sights on Ruanqing, and her appetite grew larger and larger. She threatened Ruanqing with his true identity multiple times. Ruanqing flew into a rage and hit his own mother with a car after getting drunk. Half a month later, Liu Ruyan came to the shop again with our daughter. She was dressed in the style I used to like, and even the daughter was carefully dressed up. I sold the house and changed the car. Every trace of Ruanqing around me has been cleaned. "Yang Lin, can we start over?" As she spoke, she reached for my hand. Under her affectionate gaze, I pulled my hand away and wiped it twice. Things can be replaced or thrown away. But people? I mind most of all a person Ruanqing has touched. My words were harsh. Liu Ruyan looked aggrieved, her figure swaying, though she pretended to be strong. "I know I wronged you in the past. It doesn't matter if you don't like me now. I will persist until you like me again." She was certainly confident. I don't have a hobby for picking up trash. You also came over to hug me. "Daddy, I miss you. Mommy does too. Just come back." I coldly left them with one sentence, "Don't ever come here again," and turned to leave. Coincidentally, there was a technical seminar at a certain firm. I hadn't been to my shop for a long time. The receptionist said Liu Ruyan came every day, sometimes alone, sometimes with our daughter. She'd sit for half the day without saying a word, just staring at the photo of me and my father. When I returned to the shop, Liu Ruyan was very happy to see me. I wanted to tell her to stop bothering me because it was meaningless, but she held her right hand up to me, On her ring finger was our wedding ring. We didn't meet for 2 years after the divorce, yet we happened to meet at the Civil Affairs Bureau. Yanglin, don't you think God is creating an opportunity for us? I looked at the ring, my eyes hazy. I threw my ring away when we divorced. It's okay, I had another one custom made. As she spoke, she opened a blue velvet box. I walked over, picked up the ring, and looked at it. Pity, this isn't my size. I slowly closed the box. Just like us. We were wrong from the very beginning. Liu Ruyan froze in her pose holding the ring. How can it be wrong? Why won't it work? Liu Ruyan, I came to see you today to tell you that I've sold this shop. Someone else will take over next week. The old house my father left me, along with a large area of the back mountain, is being demolished. I've become a second-generation rich overnight. I'm going to a top-tier city to develop. You're leaving? Never coming back? Liu Ruyan's voice was urgent. What about our daughter? You don't care about her anymore? You don't want her? You will always be my daughter. I'll come back to see her when I have time. But that's all. I gave some instructions to my employees. When I came back, Liu Ruyan was still dazed. I packed the photo of my father and left. Later, Liu Ruyan offered a fortune to buy the repair shop, but I didn't agree. The nominal new owner of the shop was my college classmate. It was a ruse to ward her off. Some people I didn't want any connection with ever again. When I was leaving, Yu somehow heard the news and waited for me at the community gate. I couldn't avoid it. She cried and shouted, "Daddy," from far away. Liu Ruyan followed behind, pale and haggard. "Daddy, do you not want Yu anymore? Are you going to leave me again?" I picked her up and patted her back. "You will always be Daddy's daughter. Will you get married and have other children in the future?" I glanced at Liu Ruyan. She had lowered her head and was pretending not to hear. "Yes, Daddy will marry the person he loves, and there will likely be another child." Both mother and daughter looked utterly devastated. A clean break must be absolute. I said goodbye to Yu. When the car started, I heard her voice. "Daddy, I'm sorry." But it was all too late. It had already ended long ago. In my second year in Shanghai, I won the National Gold Prize for Auto Repair Technology. In my third year in Shanghai, I met a gentle and kind woman. In my fifth year in Shanghai, I had a little him. Since then, my life has been filled with sunshine.